Welcome to Battle Streams in Middle-earth, and so we come to it at last. The great stressful battle of our time, the final part of Shedfest 2024. We have 5 days until Throne of Skulls. Can we get the project finished? Can Mark Stone save the day? Who knows? Let's go on in and find out.
One ring to rule them all, one ring to fight them, one ring to break them all, and the darkness bind them.
Hello and welcome to Battle Streams in Middle-earth, and welcome to Damian's hobby vlog number 44. This is the Road to Throne of Skulls 7, Project Shire 11. Oh yes, we are back. So yes, welcome indeed once more to Battle Streams in Middle-earth, of course the channel where we aim to help you clear your backlog. And we do that in 2 ways. The primary way we do that is that we have a live stream every couple of weeks where we go through DXD's Partwork Battle Games in Middle-earth, and we all hang out together as a community and paint the same model at the same time, not because we need it, but just for the love of the hobby. It's a really cool kind of community hangout and a chance for you to hang out with like-minded nerds, relax a bit and paint something purely for the fun of it. It's loads and loads of fun. If you sounds interesting, you can go and check out our live tab where there's like 120 episodes already, and look out on our social media for when the next one's going to be, because it'll be very soon. And the other way that I try and help you clear your backlog is by just documenting my own hobby journey as I try and clear my backlog, and that's what these hobby vlogs are, and that's what we'll be doing in this one. So if this channel sounds like your cup of tea, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it. If you enjoy what happens over the course of the next vlog, leave a comment. It really does mean the world to me, and is the only thing that kind of keeps me going through these vlogs, really. They take an awful lot of time, so anything if you liked it, if you didn't like it, please let me know. Feedback is the best. And if you want to go one step further, the links to our Patreon are down below. So if you want to join the coolest community in all the world and join our fun community of hobbyists from around the world, hanging out and just chatting nonsense and helping support each other, that would be great. So where are we? Road to Throne of Skulls 7. So this is the 7th video on our journey to Throne of Skulls 2024. We're nearly there. This is indeed the last one. This vlog is going to get us up to the day before Throne of Skulls and complete the project. So where are we? Well, at the end of the last one, Michael Haskell had left. He'd spent the weekend with me. It had been amazing. We'd done a load of great work. And I think I said in the last one, we'd given ourselves a chance. We weren't there, we weren't finished, but due to Michael's incredible help, there was a chance of getting the project finished. But as we pick this one up, it's the Monday morning and there are 5 days to go. So they're starting on the Monday and Throne of Skulls on Saturday. So 5 hobby days left to go. And you may recall that the last vlog ended with a bit of a cliffhanger with Mark Stone appearing right at the end to take over from Michael. But I'm afraid that was a lie. That was all there for the magic and the drama of cinema. Mark doesn't appear on the Monday. Mark turns up later. He will turn up in the vlog, but he's not there. He hasn't arrived yet. I know, I'm a fraud, a phony, a terrible liar. But yeah, so you're going to pick up with me on Monday morning as I try and stagger my way through the final week of this insane project. So there we go. That's what's to come. The vlog's about an hour long. I hope you enjoy this last stage in the process, and I hope you've enjoyed the whole journey through this project. And yeah, let's get stuck in and see how the last week went. I'm sure it was incredibly enjoyable.
The first thing I started working on Monday was the hedge that would run along the back of the board, which I needed to form a boundary or transition between the display board full of models and the printed fireworks display backdrop. I had always planned to make this the same way I had made my hedges for the Fantasy Fellowship series back in the day, by pulling apart Brillo pads and adding flock to them. You can actually see the old hedges in this picture from the last vlog, where I'd used them as placeholders when arranging the board. However, I had managed to use up all of my Brillo pads when making the party tree, and, as I said in vlog 42, the really worrying thing was that I now had no Brillo pads left to make the hedge that I would need for the board. At which point, my old Fantasy Fellowship hedges started looking quite nervous in the corner. So it was that I dug out the 4 hedges that I had made back in 2020. As you can see, most of the flock had fallen off over the years and they were in a very poor state. These hedges were roughly half the length of my display board, so I grabbed 2, thanked them for the joy they had given me, and callously ripped the foliage off and glued it on top of the other 2 to bulk them up. It's worth stressing that, as dilapidated as the hedges were, they are still extremely useful for our SBG magazine photo shoots as background fillers, and if Tom ever finds out that I've stolen them to use for the display board, he's probably gonna be absolutely livid, so do me a favour and keep it quiet, okay? I then repeated the process that I had 5 years ago, hitting the newly bulked out hedges with hairspray and then covering them in a variety of different flocks before also adding a bunch of the autumnal leaves that I had added to the party tree. I basically just repeated this process a few times until the hedges looked really bushy with a variety of depth and colours to them. Once done, I sprayed them with some Geek Game matte sealant spray that Michael had lent me in the hope that it would keep things a little more fixed than last time around. In the end, I was really happy with how the hedges came together and I thought they looked pretty cool. Once again, I was then hit by an order of operations crisis for the board. Given the hedge was formed from a bunch of very thin Brillo pad material with flock glued down and wasn't a single solid piece, there was no way that I'd be able to finish the hedge and then glue it on top of the fully finished display board. It would all just fall apart. So, as shown in the previous clips, the hedges had to be glued to a base to keep them together. So, once again, the question became, what was the best order to do things? If I finished the basing and flock on the display board and then attempted to glue 36 inches of based hedges down, they would never lie flat and blend with the board and they would look rubbish. On the other hand, if I glued the finished hedges down to the display board before doing the basing materials to help blend the hedge bases into the display board, there was a very real chance that the sand that I glued down to the display board base would get blown into the finished hedge, irrecoverably filling the completed hedge with bright unpainted sand. After a bit of debate, I figured it would be easier to be careful with the sand than to dry and blend the hedge base into the fully based display board, so I took the plunge and glued the hedges down to the board. Once again, there was no turning back now. Tuesday's job was to glue sand down to the display board. This is normally a fun, quick and easy job, slathering the board in PVA and then tipping sand over it. Alas, with 76 25mm base holes to avoid, it was anything but fun, and I spent a very long time carefully painting around all the base holes and carefully tipping sand over, paying particular attention to the edge where the hedge was to ensure that no sand was dropped into the hedge. With the board covered in sand, I headed to bed to let it dry overnight, hoping to God that nothing was gluing where it wasn't meant to be. And so Wednesday dawned. There were only 3 days to go before the event, and I still had to factor in the 3-hour trip to Nottingham. The first thing I had to do on Wednesday was tip the sand off. I remember I was terrified of getting sand in the finished hedge, so I couldn't be as carefree as normal with this, where I just tipped the board hard to the left, the right, the front and the back until all the sand had come off. I had to be far more careful this time. So I popped it on a large box and then tipped it forward, the only direction I could safely tip it to avoid getting sand in the hedge. As I tipped it forwards, I was really worried that, as well as the sand, some or all of the board elements would just fall off. I was particularly terrified about the tents, but don't worry about them for now. Past Damian will tell you about them in a minute. Given I couldn't tip the board in any other direction, I left the board leaning against the box and then used a little air blower I have to blow the loose sand off. I was beyond relieved when nothing fell off and the sand seemed to have glued in the right places, giving the board a nice coverage whilst also avoiding the holes. It was another potential disaster avoided, and with that, I sat down to take stock of where the project was.
Okay, so it's update time. It is Wednesday morning. 2 days, 2.5 days, depends how you count it, to Throne of Skulls, and this is how things currently stand. Last night you saw me gluing the sand down onto the board. I don't know if I would have mentioned it via voiceover, but I was terrified about these tents sticking down. They're they're hollow. There's a hole underneath them. They're largely hollow, and then the way the resin's formed. If you imagine like it's a square with a hole in the middle, but that bit around the edge is slightly recessed from the edge, so your contact points are almost just the perimeter of the tent and then the perimeter of the circle, so there's not a lot of contact points, and they felt very, very wobbly last night, and I was really, really extremely worried that they weren't going to grip, and when I tipped the board today they fell off, and thankfully they didn't, and I deliberately kind of shoved a lot of sand and a lot of glue last night during the gluing process into the edges to try and make a kind of cement. I've got to say, these tents, I don't think I feel myself painting them. These have been like an additional stress that I really wasn't ready for, in that I just I'm so worried about getting everything done at the moment, and they were just like one extra stress that I didn't need. And I kind of struggled to paint them, so I sprayed them white. I painted them what was effectively a shabty bone, dry brushed them with a mix of a shabty bone and one of my whites, and I thought they looked absolutely rubbish. And then all I did was dry brush them with white scar, I think it was, and actually they're fine now. I was like, oh, okay, that'll do. That's just going to have to do. They look white whilst they're looking like they have some depth in them, and my hope is that they're just kind of nice white, kind of neutral things to kind of make pop on the board, and everyone's going to be looking at everything else. So that was a panic, both in terms of getting them painted and getting them attached, but I think we're okay on that regard. And then what you've just seen me do, I think, on the video is tip. I did all the sand yesterday. I glued all the sand down yesterday, and I've just tipped it off and then blown off the excess, and it looks to have worked. So it looks to have dried overnight, which is helpful, and it looks to have glued into it and stuck in all the right places, which was really important and kind of vital for any chance of us getting the project done. So my next process now is to try and get this painted. I'm going to get a lick of paint on this over lunchtime. That isn't going to be quick. I think it's worth stressing. Normally I just, I remember my rides at Rohan board last time, I was just able to slather brown over it. I can't do that for so many reasons. I don't really want to get on the tents. I can't really get it on the hedge at the back. But I still have to have done it in this order, I think, to have a chance of getting everything done. I was worried that if I painted the base first and then glued the tents down, for example, they just wouldn't stick on the kind of uneven ground. I didn't think there was enough traction, so I thought they had to be glued down first. So I have to be a bit careful about there. I'm also going to have to try and be really careful here with the benches and kind of get a smaller brush in there. And of course the other thing is I don't really want to go too heavy-handed, because I don't want to fill these gaps with paint so that I can't put the models in them. And then I've got to get that done now, so that it has a hope of drying before tonight, because as I said, it's Wednesday. I really have to get this dry brush tonight. It's got 2 dry brushes to go on top of it, a Mornfan Brown and a Shabty Bone, and that's got to be done tonight for me to have a hope of doing it. But even then, I am still really, really concerned and worried at this point. For one thing, I've still got somewhere in the region of about 8 hours work, maybe 9 hours work to do on my army, painting like hobbits and Gandalf. So I've still got 9 hours to fit into that. Then roughly, let's say optimistically, to paint this and dry brush it, maybe 2 hours. That's 11 hours. To do all the flocking and everything on it, that's probably going to be another 2 hours. That's 13 hours. The back of the board, as you can hopefully see here, hasn't been built yet. There's nothing back here, so I'm going to have to build a foam board case for that. That's going to take at least an hour, so let's say it's 14 hours. And none of these details are painted. None of the crockery on here is painted. And I've actually got here my tray of some of the other things that are going onto it. And next door I've got sticks covered in barrels. And they're all at this stage, they're all at the brown dry brush stage. So I think maybe, if I'm lucky, painting all the details on that is about 4 hours work. So that's about 18 hours. Oh god. And then what else is there? There's a bit to do on the dragon, he's nearly finished. Hanging the bunting, putting the banner on. I mean, even optimistically, I think maybe that's another sort of 4 hours. I think we're at about 22 hours until the project's complete, and it's Wednesday morning. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've got some lunch hours. I'm working from home for the next 2 days, so I've got some lunch hours that I can do a bit on, and I'll be working all evening. And the only slight saving grace is that I'm off work on Friday, obviously, to go to Throne of Skulls. Now, I think the reality is just that I'm going to be working here on this for most of Friday. In a perfect world, we want to be leaving at lunchtime to go up and have a nice drive up and then have dinner and drinks. You're not going to be leaving at lunchtime. You're not going to have dinner and drinks. You are not living in a perfect world. But I just don't think it's going to be possible. I think I'm going to be working here until fairly late on Friday and then driving up very late on Friday and having a horrible journey through rush hour. Well, the good news is you won't be driving through rush hour. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. It's really tough. As much as I haven't been cold this time, and I've been shivering in a shed. Oh, don't you worry, fast Damian. You're going to be cold. You're going to be very cold indeed. Make the most of your boiler. Work-wise, stress-wise, timing-wise, I think this is the worst it's ever been, genuinely. I don't think I've ever had this much to do at this point in the project before. So, it's a bit of a worry, if I'm honest, but I'm so happy with what I've got so far that I've just got to kind of keep going and keep ploughing on somehow and try and get through everything. But well, I guess we'll see. But I'm gonna get a coat of paint on this, and then there is always a very satisfying thing that once the coat of paint's on and once the dry brushing's done, that transforms it from a point where there was wet glue with wet sand on it. As soon as you put that paint down, everything's sealed suddenly, and there's nothing. And it starts to look very much near finished, and that's always a very satisfying point. It's just unfortunate, really, that I've got all these little plates to paint, and to get done as well. It's just going to be extremely hard to imagine how I'm going to find the time to do that. But yeah, that's where we are, and there's no point moaning about it. I've just got to get on with it, haven't I? Let's go.
So, with the sand fully dry, I set about painting the board using my trusty home-based tester pots. As always, I started by giving the sand a base coat of rhinox hide all over, this time using a base on a piece of metal rod in an attempt to stop any paint getting inside the base holes. This worked well, but obviously took a very long time. Still, it was nice to see the base coming together, and sealing down the sand with the first coat of paint is always a big step towards feeling like you have a finished board. However, despite the fact that we were making progress, there was still so much to do. And, as I often do in the build-up to Throne of Skulls, I decided to waste some time by coming up with a light-hearted post for Facebook detailing just how much I had to do to try and make myself feel better. It didn't work. The to-do list was insane. After leaving the rhinox hide to dry, I then hit the board with a dry brush of Mornfang Brown, using some folded cardboard to protect the tents from getting any of the brown paint on them. I then decided to build the back of the board, abandoning my normal careful planning and precision cutting in favour of just hacking away at some foam board and winging it like I'd never winged it before. The plan here was to build space to store the battery packs for the lights and also build in a storage shelf for any bits that I needed to carry around the event. With the basic structure of the board built, we had passed midnight, meaning it was technically the day before I was leaving for the event. Gross. I added the last dry brush of a Shabty bone to finish off the painting process, while stressing no end about how much had to be done in the last 2 days. And I headed to bed. Then, after what felt like about 5 minutes sleep, I was rudely awoken.
Mark Stone, at your service.
Oh yes, Mark Stone had made the trip from Guernsey to hang out with me for the day before Throne of Skulls, play some casual games, get a curry, watch some movies, and just relax and enjoy ourselves. So, with Mark instantly regretting his choice of pre-Throne of Skulls accommodation, I put him to work. With the painting complete, our first job was to glue the lightbox and fireworks backdrop onto the board. This was a relatively simple job, given that I'd spent so much time planning and measuring before this point, and just required us to slide the lightbox along the backboard before clamping the lightbox in place while the glue dried. You can see here how the lightbox butted up nicely to the black decorative dowel that I had already glued on the tree side. I was really happy with how this looked, and once the lightbox was fully slid across, I added another piece of matching dowel on the other side, completing the frame. But where the dickens had the wires gone, I hear you cry. And by hear you cry, I mean I'm feeling quite smug about where the wires had gone, and I'm worried you might miss it. Well, it's time to take you back to a rather crucial decision I had made 10 days before, and which I hinted at in vlog 42. The final step before I could assemble everything was to cut 2 holes into the wooden backdrop, one in the centre at the bottom to allow the LED lights to reach the smoke column from the back of the board, and one much smaller hole just above the frame level on the right, which would allow more leads access to the board at a later stage. It's honestly hard to say just how crucial this small hole was, and how crucial it was that I cut it at this stage, and it's just the sort of thing that could have inadvertently doomed the whole project, and that I was terrified I would overlook. You'll see just what it's for and why it's vital in the next vlog, but for now, doff your cap to this little hole. It's an absolute MVP. So, time to explain that cheeky little MVP. You can actually see it in situ as I was building the back of the board here, and as we slide the lightbox in, you can see the little gap down at the bottom left of the board. When I built the lightbox, I left a small gap at the bottom to allow the wires to come out. I forgot to film this properly before attaching the lightbox to the board, but you can see where the wires come out in this image of the lightbox before I glued the fireworks display picture on top. Had I not thought about this in advance and cut this small hole in the backboard, I would have had wires coming out of the side of the board and wrapping around the back, which would have looked horrible. Thankfully, I had thought about this way back at the start of the construction, so the leads and battery case, which were hanging out at the bottom right of the lightbox, were then threaded through the hole in the backboard where they could be neatly stored in the back of the board before the doweling was glued on the side of the board, finishing everything off nicely. As Mark became aware of the absolute horror show he'd walked into, he kindly agreed to help out in any way he could, and so I put him to work on some of the jobs that needed doing but which were further down the priority list, like painting the rims on my trap markers and objective markers. I had Baldo Tulpenny in my army, so I needed trap markers for the tournament, but I had no plans to include them on the display board, so this was exactly the sort of job that Mark could help me out on, without feeling like he was directly creating some of my display board for me. Next up, it was time to add the texturing and basing materials to the board, and my eldest daughter Charlotte once more offered to help. There were no moral issues involved with getting Charlotte to help, as I helped to make her, and she's essentially 50% me. So this was just me making good use of my own time, as far as I could see. Were I slightly less stressed, I may have been more micromanagey about this and tried to guide Charlotte about how and where to place the tufts, but there was no time for this, so I just gave her a box of tufts and a pair of tweezers and told her to go nuts. She had a few important questions.
Why do you use the tweezers, Daddy?
It's a great question. Just to make it easier.
Okay, can I use my hands?
No.
But soon realised it was not a time for questions and got on with the work. Inevitably, in the manner of 7-year-olds everywhere, after a while Charlotte got bored and wandered off with the board still several hundred tufts away from completion, so we grabbed the tweezers and we be the master. As much as I would have gladly outsourced this to any of my children, it is a very satisfying process and served as a brief period of calm and focus amid all the horrid stress. With the trap markers successfully rimmed, Mark's next job was to help me make some objective markers. Again, something I was keen to include, but which were not essential and would not be appearing on the display board. I had a clear and simple idea for these, I had a bunch of small-scale presents that I had bought to use in our Christmas-themed issue of SBG magazine as the presents on Barling Claus's sled, and for use in the custom scenario that we had created. Since then, they'd just been sitting in a bag in a drawer, and this seemed like a great chance to give them a new lease of life as Bilbo's birthday presents. Mark grabbed the presents and glued them onto the bases, forming some quick but effective objective markers. While Mark was working on the objectives, I set out to finish the basing materials, carefully adding patches of glue around the board and gluing down the same bright static grass I had been using on my Shire bases. In a spectacular display of teamwork, as I was working on this, Mark would hold up the objectives for me to add glue and grass to at the same time. Talk about teamwork. And at about 6 PM, that was it for work on the board on Thursday. As much as the addition of the light box, tufts and static grass had really transformed the board, you'll probably notice that, given how up against it I was, 6 PM was a very early time of day to be calling it a day. Well, that's because there was still painting to do. You may remember back in Hobby Vlog 41, I actually gave you an insight into the Thursday before Throne of Skulls, because that's when I finished off my final batch of 6 hobbits and did the base rims and texture on 17 hobbits. So I sat down at the painting desk around 6 PM and painted for the whole evening, while Mark enjoyed an evening more akin to what he may have had planned when he arrived, sitting in comfort, keeping me company and watching a couple of movies. We watched 300 and the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds and had a pretty nice evening, just focusing on finishing off my models and not worrying too much about the display board. As I said back in Vlog 41, getting those models finished was a pretty spectacular relief. Not only was it a massive step towards getting the project finished in time for Throne of Skulls, but it also meant that my planned Hobbit army that I'd started painting back in July 2020 was finally finished. I now had somewhere in the region of an 80 model Shire army, and that, my friends, was pretty cool. I'll go back to Vlog 41 to sum up how I was feeling on the night. Don't get too excited, the project is far from finished on a Thursday night. I'm happy in this clip, but when you see the next couple of vlogs where I'm doing the display board, I'm going to be deeply unhappy on Thursday. Let's just leave it at that, because the project is a long way from finished on Thursday night. Suffice to say, I am not packing up the car in the morning and leaving. I've got a lot of stuff to get through tomorrow, but the hobbits are finished. And so, with a relatively positive outlook, I headed to bed, knowing that I would be waking up on Friday to face one hell of a final day. Alright, so it is time for an update. Feels like it's been a couple of days since I did anything to camera, and that's just because I've been so damn busy. It is Friday morning. It is the day that we are going to Throne of Skulls. And we're not done. We're still behind. Let's start with the positives. The army's done. Hobbits. My hobbits are finished. My army is painted. For the first time since July, and possibly for the first time since July 2020, I don't have any hobbits to paint. That is good. That is a victory, and we're pleased with that. This is good news. Completely finished army, which is great. It's not a completely finished army though, is it? What about him? What about Gandalf? You haven't painted him, have you? Paint Gandalf the Grey, for God's sake, man. And as you can see, the board here has probably come on somewhat since you saw it last. The back piece is glued in place. It fit really nicely. The back of the box has all been built here, so the board looks complete, and that physical thing is now effectively ready to go. However, it's 11 AM, and by my reckoning, I think I've still got about 11 hours to do on everything. So, the biggest missing thing is, I don't know if you'll be able to read this here, but the tables over here, they're all still just dry brush brown. All the crockery's not painted, and that's the 5 tables that were glued down. All the other little details that are still to go onto it, all the barrels, all the sacks, all the other tables, none of the details on those are painted. So I've estimated that maybe that'll take me about 4 hours. I then think I've got about 2 hours work to do on the board itself. I want to put some more black smoke around the bottom here, push some black smoke in there, attach the bunting, repaint the outside rim black,
and add the banner that Emma's done onto the front of it. I think that's about 2 hours work, and so that's 6 hours, which gets us to about 5 o'clock. And then I think realistically, I need like an hour to pack, an hour to tidy up, and an hour to vlog, to film the finished thing. That's about 8 p.m. And then because we're now going to be here at 8, I'm presuming going to eat, so we can add in an hour for that. So that's 9 p.m. So I honestly think we might not be leaving here till 9 p.m. Which is genuinely unheard of. I think the latest I ever left on the Throne Skulls was the N1, and I think that was about 5 o'clock or something. But I've never had to work all day on the Friday to get the project done, and so that's quite dispiriting. I know it sounds crazy, but that Friday night is so important to me mentally, that you get to Nottingham finished and you get to de-stress and relax and get a good night's sleep. And the idea that we're looking at probably driving up to Nottingham at 9 p.m. is fairly grim, and kind of does have a massive impact on the way you psychologically think about the weekend, because as soon as you get there, you're going to sleep to then like wake up immediately and be knackered and all that. So, but that's not the end of the world. I've got to keep some perspective on it. It's not the end of the world if the project's actually done. So yeah, that's our day. And I thought the other fun update I'd give you, because I think you'll like this, is you might have seen, people might have already been noticing that I mentioned that the garden room was nice and warm, unlike the cold shed, so you might have been disappointed about that. And B, you've probably noticed I haven't done a lot in the garden room. It's been a great base for me, and I've done a few bits in there, but the majority of it is done in the house. So you're probably hating this and thinking I'm a sellout. So I thought you'd be pleased to know that yesterday my boiler was condemned. So we have no heating, we have no hot water, and so whilst I might not be in the shed, I'm in the house and freezing. So yeah, that's a fun twist. So whilst it might seem disastrous, I really can't think of a better weekend to just go away to Nottingham and play with toy soldiers and not think about how disastrous things are going here at life. But there you go. That's the update. Army finished.
It's not finished, you idiot! Paint Gandalf! Paint Gandalf the Grey! For God's sake, paint Gandalf the Grey!
Board. I am really happy, but we'll talk more about that hopefully in a few hours when it's all complete. Board very much coming along, but mainly just a big chunk of painting to do. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to try and put the times and the schedule out of my mind and just sit down and try and really enjoy painting these details for a few hours, and hopefully it might take less than 4 hours, and we'll be able to leave earlier than, what did I estimate, 9 p.m. But equally, maybe it'll take more than I expected, and we'll be leaving later than 9 p.m. So yeah, we'll see. See you on the other side.
But before we plunge into recalling the horrors of the final day, I did receive one final super cool delivery to add to the board. Oh, it is exciting delivery time today. Something super cool and special has arrived. Check this out. Ta-da! We have bunting. Oh yes, we have hand crocheted bunting. This was done by Lily Harrison, of Tom Harrison fame, Tom's wife Lily. I was pondering how to do the bunting a few months ago and chatting about it and where I get it from and how you can make it look kind of decent without it being paper bits. And Lily, who's a little mistress, genius with the with needles and with sewing and with crocheting and with stitching, kindly offered to stitch some tiny crocheted bunting. Now we kind of measured it, and actually if you look at the bunting in the film, it's quite big. It's quite large bunting. It was hard to kind of estimate, but we it looks like almost the height of Merry and Pippin's chest and body. Chest and head. So we kind of based it on that, and then I asked her to make a series of lengths, and she kindly obliged. I believe, I don't know a lot about crochet, but it's significantly harder to make it in lots of different colours in the same row than in a single colour. And Lily, amazing helper, wonderful human that she is, kindly agreed to do that. So we've got loads and loads of like bits of it here, and the idea is this is going to hang between the tents, and I'm sure you agree it looks amazing. So some of these might be trimmed down when we see the final kind of size of the I don't know, the final positioning of the tents on the board, but hopefully it gives you a kind of cool idea of what I've got here. Over the moon with this, absolutely delighted, and I think it'll add a really nice touch to the finished board as well. So thank you, Lily, you are, as ever, amazing. With the bunting attached, I set Mark his first task of the day, touching up the rim of the board with black paint to tidy up all the paint from the dry brushing and give it a nice clean finish. Meanwhile, there was no putting it off any longer, and at noon, the day before Throne of Skulls, I decided to paint the billions of things that were going on the board. Alright, so it is update time. It is the Friday of Throne of Skulls. It is noon, and this is what still needs to be painted. So this is all the details that are going onto the board. As you see, all the wood's done, it's all dry brush, it's finished, so I now need to pick out other details. Some of these are going to be relatively simple. It doesn't mean not time consuming, but I'm just going to pick out the metal rims around this barrel, for example, and then it'll be done. Some of the things, sausages and bread and all that sort of stuff. So this is what I allocated 4 hours of the day to, so that would take us to 4 o'clock if I don't stop, whatever. But obviously whether or not it'll take that long or not, I truly don't know. Also need to paint the fireworks in Gandalf's cart, for example, and then yeah, these are the last bits. Will I do all the sacks? I don't know. I could see myself saving time there. There's a couple little fire pits here I really want to add because they're cooking pits. I definitely need this table done up with the kind of wine bottles and all that. So yeah, I'm just going to try and chuck some colour onto this, just try and make it pop as quick as possible. I'm thinking kind of like a 2-layer effect, highlight and shade type thing. And as of yet, Gandalf's still not finished. So Gandalf also needs, I reckon, about an hour's work. So I can't remember what my maths was working, but I thought it was 3 hours after I finish everything to be done, to include tidying, vlogging and packing. So we're saying 4 hours for this, 1 hour for Gandalf, that's 5 hours, maybe an hour for the board, 6 hours, 3 hours, that's 9 hours, and it's noon, so that still leaves us leaving at 9 PM. What a massive success. Of course, if this takes more than 4 hours, we're screwed, but if it takes less than 4 hours, we're laughing. Off we go. While I was doing all these freestanding elements, Mark stepped into the breach to paint the crockery that was on the tables that were already glued down to the board. As stressful as this was, and as sleep deprived as I was, this was kind of fun. I was coming up with colour schemes for crockery, pots, mugs, etc. at the hobby desk, and then Mark was running into the other room and replicating them on the display board. He definitely didn't mind though. After all, it was
All hands on deck.
Make sure you pay special attention to those party tables in the pictures. They've been painted by me, Mark, and Michael Haskell. Talk about a team effort. We stopped throughout the afternoon to work on a few other bits for the board, but some 6 hours after starting all of those features, they were done. Alright, and it's update time. Boom, the details are done. So I did a little timer, and it took 3 hours and 50 minutes to do this, so I think I'd estimated that this might take about 4 hours. As it was, it took 3 hours and 50 minutes, and I have to say, you've probably seen a bit of B-roll of this, but that was with Mark doing some of the plates and stuff on the other bit of the board, so 4 hours was a conservative estimate, but we've got it done in under 4 hours, so that's pretty exciting. So let's have a quick look at about these before I glue them to the board. We have this little kind of fruit stand, where I'll put a bit little white cloth on the front. Some carrots, potatoes, cabbages, apples and grapes, I decided on that one. And we have this little cooking stand, where they're cooking the chilli. All the pots are going to have this same kind of brown chilli stuff in it, and some sausages, which is quite pleasing. This is the washing up station. So I've got this kind of hopefully water type effect in there, and a pile of plates. There's no one near it, but that's going to be like the idea that Pippin and Merry wash up there. Got this little pile of blankets. I think I mentioned this a while back on the vlog, but just like at weddings, when you go and you get blankets to keep you warm, I figure they might have a pie. And apparently swords. I'd never seen those two swords on there until I started painting them, but you know, blankets and swords, what a party. The fire pits I did. So there's this little one here, looks pretty cool, roasting some meat, and this little one here, cooking some chili. Then we've got this one with a load more food, so some meat on there, sausages, that sort of stuff, and some bread, and what I painted up as cheese.
It's quite cool. The drinks table with some jugs, cups, and 10 bottles of old Wynyards. Did my best to paint them to look like green bottles with red wine inside. I think it's kind of worked, but yeah, it's good enough from a distance. And then this last table full of supplies for the party with some more red and green apples, or peppers I suppose, either way. Some boxes of potatoes, and then the fish, tub of fish, which I think came out quite well. And then finally I was also painting the details on Gandalf's cart. And they all went in there, so we'll find just using the same colours. So yeah, there's all the little details. We're now going to kind of finish things off by gluing it to the board. It is currently 6 o'clock. We were obviously the plan, if my schedule was right, was to leave by 9 o'clock. If I'm honest, even now I think that feels a little optimistic. But yeah, we'll see how we go. And yeah, here goes nothing.
And that clip, recorded at 6 p.m, was the last recorded clip that you haven't seen. It was far from the last thing I did though, and in fact, you've already seen the last thing I did. Back in Hobby Vlog 41, I showed you the last thing I did, roughly from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m, which was finishing off Gandalf the Grey, the last item on that insane to-do list, which I had somehow completed over the past 48 insane hours. However, as much as you've seen this before, there is a couple of minutes of this Gandalf footage which serves as the perfect ending for the Friday. So I'll hand back over to past Damian to bring us home. And I am beyond happy to report Gandalf is finished and the project is finished. So here we go. The last model for the project has been finished and I've been glued him into place. This is my full thing. You've seen the cart before, not quite finished. There's the details I was painting into it this afternoon. But there we go. There's the finished piece. And do you know what? Overall, I'm so tired, but I'm delighted with this. This is kind of what I was picturing in my head, to be honest. For all those years, this was always what my Gandalf was meant to look like, and between the kind of LEDs and the clump foliage fire and the cart and the Gandalf and the black cotton wool smoke, it's done what I wanted to do, really. So it's I'm really pleased, and I think it will make a cool kind of centerpiece for the army. So there we go. That's the good news. The army project's finished. Do you know the bad news? It's 9 p.m. It's late. It's excessively late. The project is finished. But what we're now going to do is pack everything up and tidy everything up, and that's going to take literally hours. I think it's going to take somewhere between like an hour and 2 hours to get the car ready and all that sort of stuff to then head off, which is kind of a disaster, to be honest. But what can you do? We are where we are, and the project's finished. So suffice to say, we're not getting to the pub. I'm going to pack everything up. I'm going to drive 2.5 hours to Nottingham. Hopefully Mark will keep me awake on the journey, and then I will collapse, and I'll be coming back to you to sign off this vlog, but I sure as hell won't be doing that tonight. So I'll be seeing you on the other side of Throne of Skulls for that. So I look forward to seeing future Damian, who's hopefully significantly less tired than me. But yeah. Painting army wise, we got there. I'll see you soon. And we are done. The board is finished. Da-da! We can relax. Oh yes, here at the end of all things, the finished board for Throne of Skulls has been completed on time, and we can now head off to Throne of Skulls. Except, as the historians amongst you might have noticed, looking at the state of this table, perhaps looking at the state of my shaving, and perhaps looking at the state of my eyes and my happiness, this is no longer the Friday of Throne of Skulls. This is the Monday after Throne of Skulls. We have returned from Throne of Skulls. So the last clips I think you will have seen that we were filming were of me and Mark working on the little details, like painting the final details. The plates and all those kind of things, and we got those finished, and then we got all those pieces glued down, and
and then attach the very, very final touches, such as Emma's banner that you've put along the front here. And then I had to paint Gandalf the Grey. And bizarrely, you've already seen me paint Gandalf the Grey in a previous vlog, where I was, whichever vlog it was, where I was looking at the actual painting the conversions, and that would have covered Gandalf the Grey, and finishing him at 9 PM on the night before Throne of Skulls. And so we did that, and then at 9 PM, when everything was finally finished, we had to get everything packed up, really, and head off to Nottingham. And it took us, obviously, with everything out completely, the whole army was out, the board was out, nothing was packed at all. It took about 2 hours to get packed up, and me and Mark left at 11 PM on Friday night and drove to Nottingham and got there at 1:30 in the morning. And we were exhausted and shattered, but we were deliriously happy. Now, what happens after that, you'll have to wait for the next vlog where I actually do review the event. But the important thing is, I was deliriously happy because this got finished, and here it is in its complete form. And I've got to say, I am over the moon with this. I'm truly, truly delighted with how it came together. I believe, is it November the 13th, I think, was the day we started? Let me see if I can find that. Good content. Yeah, there it is. November the 13th was the day when the board actually began construction. So that means it took, is it 2.5 weeks, I guess? Yeah, under that, about 16 days or so. I worked on the board to create this, which is hysterical, really, when you think about it. But yeah, it was completed. We got it done, and I'm just over the moon with it. There is. I always have this little bit where whenever I finish these boards, I'm always kind of like, did we compromise on anything? Did anything happen that we didn't want to do? And I honestly think with this one, the answer is no. I had a few hours painting the little pieces, all the little tables and stuff in the other room. And when I came out, I realised I hadn't painted any sacks. So I've still got the stick here, which has got all the sacks on it. I just missed this stick. Now, if I'm brutally honest, these are exceptionally large sacks, and I did think they were potentially a bit out of scale. So whilst it might have been nice to have a couple of these dotted around the place, I don't really mind. But I didn't paint those, and I didn't paint 3 of the small wicker tubs of food, because I just didn't have kind of space for them, really. And everything else that you saw on that desk in the last clip got painted. We'd already ditched 1 market stand and 1 barrel when Michael was here, when we were laying everything out. But yeah, other than that, everything got on. And so those things were on because they were chosen not to be on. It wasn't like we had to compromise because we couldn't get them on. The bunting got added on, the smoke got finished, all the tufting and all the flocking got done. And yeah, there's really not much. There was talk at one point that I considered having hairs, like single human hairs, with a bit of glitter attached, hanging down, so that they would actually blow in the wind and in the breeze and maybe look like trails of fireworks. And that was something that I was thinking about doing. I didn't know if it'd look any good, and I just ran out of time to try it. So we didn't do that, but I don't really care. That was never a certainty that it was going to happen anyway. But it was just a kind of what if. You notice at the moment the lights are steady. That is because in the past when we used to film Christmas Palantirs over on the GBSL channel, and whenever we filmed it in front of a Christmas tree, it kept focusing in and out on twinkling lights. So I didn't want the camera to be zooming in and out as it focused on the lights. So the lights are set to steady mode at the moment. But don't you worry, they can go crazy. What would we have? I just realised I could do this live. We could have about 5. There you go. I can see some twinkling going on. Yes, we could have some real crazy kind of lights going on and off on the fireworks display that we had across the weekend. But yeah, just for the purposes of this vlog, I'm going to put them on the steady setting. So yeah, we got it all finished, and yeah, I'm delighted. I would have said, I don't know if I said it in this vlog, or the previous one, or potentially the very first one, but I wanted this board to be the best thing I've ever made. I hope this. I hope it's going to be the best thing I've ever made.
Oh.
Yeah, You know when I did bag end's the best thing I've ever made, and I've had some great luck since then. I've really enjoyed the Ent board and the Erebor board and the Hill this year. I've really enjoyed them, but none of them are as good as bag end. And my hope is that I'm going completely all out, and I'm going to try and win Best Army this year, which I haven't done since 2014, and I'm going to go all out to make a kind of super cool display board that I've got in my head and I've had in my head for years, and who knows if it'll come up. Well, that's the plan. So that's what I'm going to be spending most of the year doing, this one project, basically. That was my very, very lofty goal. I wanted it to be the best thing I've ever made, comparing it to bag end and wanting it to be better than bag end. And do you know what? I think it is. I think I've done it by the dragon works to me. The lights work. The Hobbit conversions on it work. The tree works. I'm surprisingly pleased with the tree. The hedge works about the display at the back with the print and all that, and all the little features on it. And I'm honestly over the moon with it. I love it. And it was such a great feeling on that Friday evening. I think before I painted Gandalf, we'd finished all the bits, and then we put all the Hobbit models on it. There was, I was still thinking then about doing this vlog bit on Friday night. And so we did. We spent 10 minutes setting all the Hobbits out on it, and just seeing them all on this thing, just the whole thing came together. Having the tiny little Hobbits on it suddenly makes everything else look bigger, and it was just wonderful. And I'm over the moon with it. I'm absolutely delighted with how it all came out, and so pleased to have got it done. So yeah, that was the board complete. I'll take you around it a little bit to show it off, but mainly on the structural things. If we do spin it around, we've got the same sort of thing that we had last year with the Riders of Aomer post, where I've got a piece of foam board that slides in and out to reveal all the workings down here. You can see down at the bottom there are the lights and the controls, and I put the remotes in there in case I need them. And also here I've built a little shelf. I built a little concealed shelf in there where I could put things like dice and objectives and that kind of stuff to help me kind of carry things around. But that's the back, all made out of that black foam board. Really super simple construction, but making it out of black foam board is the way forward because it just saves you having to paint it. But yeah, that's the sort of size of it and the scale of it, and we're really happy. There are some sort of very special thank yous I need to say for this board that I really couldn't have done it without, and I'm probably going to forget someone, but here goes. I need to thank the people who donated models, which I think is Matt Hudson, Jamie Wiggins, Julian Hammond and Michael Haskell. They were the people who sent kind of certain Hobbit models through for the project. I can only apologise if I've forgotten anyone there. I think it was the 4 people who sent the models through. Hi, it's future Damian coming to you from the future. It's 2025. How you doing? You forgot Chris Webster, past Damian. He sent you models too, didn't he? So, sorry Chris, not my fault. Future Damian would have remembered you. Past Damian, such a jerk, right? I don't know, I can't explain it. But yeah, past Damian, you really should remember that, because it's not that you're going to play him and he's going to give you a favourite game vote or a favourite army vote or anything like that. Don't worry about that. You silly jerk. Thanks, Chris. But yeah, thank you to those guys. Phil Beale, wonderful Phil Beale, gave me an amazing bit of help with the lights, specifically around Gandalf's firework. I've just realised Gandalf's firework isn't on. We could at least do that. So I do that. Shall we risk it? We can risk this, even if it means maybe it'll start focusing on and off on that. There we go. There's Gandalf's fireworks. So when I was conceiving how I was going to work with this, I spent a bit of time chatting to Phil, and he actually made me a proof of concept piece. So it was done slightly differently in the end, but it left me. It made me feel better about what I was going to do, and the way we actually made the smoke was the same way Phil suggested, out of kind of clump foliage and cover it in super glue and that sort of stuff. So yeah, massive thanks to him for that. Massive thanks to Lily Harrison, who crocheted the bunting. The fantastic bunting that's hanging between the tents was hand crocheted by Lily, Tom's wife. lots of messages. That's a bit of a worry. And she did an amazing job on that. So thank you so much, Lily. Very, very much appreciated. Emma, my dear wife, as ever, made her the beautiful banner down the front. Anyone who remembers my bag end display that said an unexpected party, we took the banner off that one, and Emma actually traced it so that the lettering is exactly the same to whatever she did 4 or 5 years ago for that one, and then she just created long instead of. So it was really kind of recreating that, which is really nice. And of course, it's lovely to have that idea now that I have the unexpected party from back in 2019, and it was meant to have the long expected party in 2020, and it didn't quite happen, but finally in 2024 we have the long expected party. So she did that. I doubt Emma will ever watch this, but I should also say a massive thanks to her for the kind of last 2 weeks in particular. I should probably say a massive thanks to her for the last 15 years, but in particular the last 2 weeks where the house has just been covered in stuff. The house has been, the dining table and the kitchen and shelves everywhere have just been covered in kind of hobby stuff as ever, and we've lost our dining table. But thanks for being so understanding as ever. And then the last 2 people I need to thank are very, very kind of unexpected people in a way. But I need to say a massive thank you to Michael Haskell and Mark Stone, who both ended up working on the board with me, basically. They were like my little Padawans, my little apprentice helpers and stuff. And obviously you've seen that documented throughout the vlog. But Michael came and stayed for a couple of days, Friday through to Sunday, or Friday through to Monday morning actually in the end. And Mark arrived on Thursday morning and then helped me until we left on Friday. And I truly mean this. I couldn't have got it finished without them. This wouldn't have been here without them. Like, given how much they both helped me on all of those areas, not just with the actual kind of physical doing it, painting the dragon black while I was painting the dragon black, that sort of thing, but also just conceptually, like when I was hanging the banner that says "Happy Birthday, Bilbo Baggins," it was actually Mark's idea to put it on sticks. I was always just going to glue it between the 2 tents, kind of like the bunting. And he said, "Look, I don't want to give you more work, but that will look better on sticks." And I was like, "You're absolutely right." And so we kind of crafted that together, and he made that change. So Michael and Mark were both kind of constantly chucking in inspiration when I was, really, really dead on my feet and was kind of just wanting it to be over. They brought kind of fresh eyes and fresh energy to it and really helped me over the line. So to those guys, I just want to say a huge thank you. They're effectively stakeholders in the board, but they did a great job. And with dreadful apologies to anyone who's helped me a massive amount and I've forgotten about. I can only say sorry, but I think those are the people that I wanted to thank. And here we are. It's done. It's finished. And I've got to say, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm delighted with it. I think it's the best thing I've ever made. I'm just so happy with how it came out. And I'm just over the moon with it. The one negative I will say is it was too much this time, and I mean this very sincerely. I know there's been a long running joke about me being stressed and filming content like in the winter and in the sheds and all that, and will he get it done? Will he get it done? This one was unpleasant. I was enjoying the actual project, but the hours were unpleasant. I was up very, very late at night for a lot of nights, like far more than normal, and I was really quite close to a kind of like breaking point. I was so sleep deprived. I was like, this isn't good. This isn't healthy. This isn't right. And of course, when you see it like this, you then go, it was all worth it. It was all worth it in the end, and it kind of was. It kind of was, but equally, I don't want to do that again. It's too much. I have to give myself more time. Like the latest I ever left. I know when we did the Ent one, the Ent and the Dam. I ended up leaving about 4 p.m, something like that, to go to Nottingham. Like the idea of leaving here at 11 p.m. on the day before the event, it's just awful. That's not healthy. And but thankfully I had Mark for company on the journey. So the actual process of it was too much. It wasn't funny, ha, will he get it done? It was, oh my god, this is an unpleasant thing to have to do. But then as soon as it's done, as soon as it's finished, I'm just delighted with it. And so suddenly you then go, well, maybe it was all worth it. So who knows? And thankfully, over the course of the weekend, everyone was just so lovely about the board. I got so many lovely comments about it. But that kind of makes you think, oh God, it is worth it. It is worth doing it. So, but there we go. I think that's it. We have completed the project for another year, and we're off to Throne of Skulls. We were off to Throne of Skulls, and there's no spoilers here, of course, because the review vlog will be a lot before long. But let's just say, not the worst weekend I've ever had. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this process. At the time of recording this, I don't know whether the display board vlog was 1 vlog or 2 vlogs. It feels to me like I've got a lot of footage for one, so it might be 2. But as it turned out, it was 3. But I hope you've enjoyed this kind of the process of following this kind of probably about 3-week period where I was building this board, and I hope you like what I've made this year, and it's giving you some sort of inspiration for your own builds and that sort of stuff. There will be a Throne of Skulls review video along next, before long, talking about what happens when the board gets to Throne of Skulls. How did the Hobbits get on? 6 losses out of 6 at Ardacon, finishing bottom in the rankings. Can the Hobbits get a win? Who knows? And most importantly, the whole point of doing this, everything I was putting myself through, was to try and win Best Army for the first time since 2014. Could, potentially, the long expected party clinch Best Army at last? You'll hopefully find out in the next vlog. So that's it. Until then, make sure you comment down below. Please leave a comment. I live for your comments. They're the only thing that matters to me on these videos, just to have that interaction with the community. Give us a like. If you somehow haven't, make sure you click subscribe. And if you want to join the Battle Streams family, the link to our Patreon is down below. You can get on that, and depending on the tier, you can get some cool dice. And you can join in our Facebook chat where we keep the Battle Streams love going all day, every day. And beyond that, I'll see you very soon, either here on my next hobby vlog or on our next live stream on Battle Streams in Middle Earth. Until then, I am going to go for a very long sleep. Take care.